What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Smashing Pumpkins, as well as Luca back here, and we're returning to the 1995 double album Mellon Collie and the Infinite Sadness, and we're up to the penultimate tune. I heard that. Are you coming around? Are you coming up? I think she is. So we're up to the second to last tune on the second album, Twilight to Starlight, and appropriately enough, it is by Starlight. So that makes me think of navigating or viewing things by starlight, which of course would be less bright than the light of our own sun, but certainly on a very starry night, especially if you're in a place that has lower levels of what we call light pollution, which is to say lights in a electromechanical sense down here, the light from stars can be quite bright and actually provide a great deal of ability to see and to navigate. And of course, navigating by stars, I guess, is more about which constellations are in the sky. It goes back to, maritime navigation in pre-industrial days and so on. But saying by starlight rather than by the stars makes me think we're talking about the actual light that comes down. Now, even then, I would expect it to be maybe figurative or metaphorical, and perhaps starlight might be used as a way to talk about the bright radiance of a person and or a situation. Given that their lyrics can go not only very intense, but also ironic and a bit cheeky. Again, the Lily, my one and only, I was really surprised to hear that tune play out just because it seemed to start in a more direct or, let's say, sincere way, and perhaps the narrator thought it was very sincere, but the picture that emerged by the end was very different. So ultimately, I don't quite know what to expect here other than light maybe serving as either a literal force of radiance on a person and their navigation, or more likely a figurative or metaphorical radiance or illumination related to a situation. In any case, I'll see what I can catch, not necessarily on a first listen. I've continued to say this as I've gone through the album. I had this album back in the 90s as a teen, but I clearly only focused on a handful of tunes because most of the tunes as we've gone through the double album have been, at best, unknown to me. Maybe heard them once or twice back in the day, but most of them have felt like new tunes as I've experienced them. So let's hear it. This is Smashing Pumpkins. The track is by Starlight, and it's the second to last tune on the second disc of the double album Mellon Collie and the Infinite Sadness, 1995. Maybe? Okay.
Life has been untrue. And does she really know who I really am? Does she really know me? And I'm just like dead eyes, I'm just like her eyes were as vacant as the seas, yeah. Dead eyes, are you just like me? Are you just like me?
A cacophony of distorted guitar work, it sounds like. Just make sure there's no little tricks at the end here or a false ending. But yes, ultimately, what I got from the lyrics sounds like it is working on multiple levels, but dead eyes, eyes as vacant as the sea, which if it's night and you're under starlight, they're going to be dark, dark blue, essentially black in contrast to the skies. And, people talk about the stars in someone's eyes when they're viewing things with giddy excitement or the luster of love and so on. So it seemed to be a deliberate contrast with, again, a figurative understanding of radiance or lack thereof. But he's saying it's like just like him as well, so I'm not sure if he's genuinely feeling like whatever radiance or light was formerly in someone's eyes or in their involvement with him has now gone cold and dark and vacant, or whether someone is actually really dead, which feels like maybe that's the case. But he started by saying things that sound more positive, that the other person's their one and only, and a person that, they seem to be in love with and keeping close to their chest, maybe literally or figuratively. But then the rest of the sentiment, and especially those lines and what I think were the chorus, suggests that maybe there's more going on here, and it's another one where the closer you look at the fine print of the lyrics, the more there's a maybe unreliable narrator situation happening. But yeah, and again, talking about one and only, it's making me think of the previous tune, so maybe there's a deliberate use of that type of phrasing, even if the two songs aren't, sequels or connected to each other in a more literal way. It sounded like the type of sentiment that you often hear in romantic songs is, in multiple cases, being turned or at least given a more three-dimensional view, which perhaps reveals something more complicated or nuanced. Very slow and slow-moving instrumental or musical pieces in the track. It felt like we were out on a slow-moving boat looking up at the stars, but also being down with the dark and black sea. So, yeah, again, it feels like some of the sonics were perhaps conceptual in relation to the themes at play. But given that a lot of the distorted guitar that I've talked about on the album has been in the heavier tunes with the really aggressive guitar work and the hard rock type of sound, the distortion here was more, again, like echoic and atmospheric in a sort of disorienting way and not in an extreme, intense, and powerful way. So, yeah, different types of guitar work, just as the same, or not just as the same, but similar to the way Billy's voice over the course of this double album has done different things and gone in different directions. So a lot of variety on this album, both vocally and sonically more generally, and seemingly on some level, in the direct or sincere nature of some of the lyrical themes compared to some other tunes where, again, even if this isn't necessarily happening in this one, where there's a bit of an unreliable narrator or distinction between what the singer is saying and what is implied by some of the lines. So, a really cool album, looking forward to it, and I believe the last one is Farewell and Goodnight. So that's a perfect title to end an album with, and I imagine on some level this larger album is a concept album, even if the little vignettes from song to song might not directly be related, as I'm saying. So looking forward to putting this album to bed, and then we'll see what we can do with Pumpkins after that. Let me know what you think, and Luca, at this point, I am going to get up. Are you going to jump down? Probably. Yes. Let me know what you think, and I will see you then. Peace.